Good afternoon, YouTube friends. It's Joe from Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada, bringing you another not so exciting YouTube video. I said that, but don't run away just yet. I have three things to bring up today. One, a quick update on the red tiger's eye from the last video. If you haven't seen that, please check out my previous video so you can see what the red tiger's eye looks like in a raw form. So a quick update on that is I did get around to polishing them up and finishing not one, but two pieces out of that. There you have it. Red tiger's eye. I'll put one down so I can show you that it is, in fact, red tiger's eye. Cut quite thin at that point. So they're little shields, and I will be using them as brooches or pendants. I still have to cast a setting for them to sit in, but that's where those are at. I'm very happy with them. They turned out beautiful. So that's the update on the stones. The other thing I want to talk about, number two, is armor. Because that's what I'm working on this week. This week here in my weeks off, in the middle of winter, minus 20 Celsius outside, so I'm at home doing art and working on projects, is I have to fix a suit of armor. The suit of armor I am fixing is for the Society of Creative Anachronism. That's a big word. Find a dictionary, do some reading. You'll understand what it means. Essentially, it is something at a place at a time. So the Society of Creative Anachronism is a worldwide historical group that dedicates their time and resources to recreating history. And we love it. And I say we because I've been a member for... Member. There's only one M at the beginning of member, right? Yeah. I've been a member for 19 years now. It's a long time. And I've enjoyed every year of it. And I look forward to every further year of it. As a member of the SCA, I study the decline of the Roman Empire and the Ostrogoths. That sounds boring to probably mostly everybody except other historians. But regardless of that, part of what I do in the SCA is fight. Full armored combat, full contact martial sport. It's awesome. The adrenaline gets going and the battles are awesome. It's not like a LARP. It's not a reenactment. We don't know the outcome. The outcome is completely based on skill. So we train in weapon styles, and we progress as we go, and become better and better and better. So my armor, which I fight in, which is an anachronym's replica of a suit of Segmentia. That's a lot of big words in one little sentence. It's a suit of metal armor based on a Roman legionnaire's armor. So it's a bunch of plates. If you think of any Roman movie you've ever seen, or you see all the guys that are in metal plates, the legionnaires, the red capes, the helms, and they all look exactly the same. That's Segmentia armor. My armor currently is completely dismantled because I've had to repair it. It's been falling apart this year. Armor needs to get repaired when you use it. So I've ripped it all apart and I'm about to put it all back together, but before I put it back together, I'm going to do some etching, some acid etching on some of the plates to beautify some of it. It happened throughout all of history and all various areas in history where, pretty armor was a thing. So I want this armor to be a bit prettier, more aesthetically pleasing, as it were, before I put it back together. So I'm going to be doing some acid etching on some of the plates, and that's my job for today. Of course, I'm doing this video, so it's stopping me from doing this. So as soon as I'm done this video, I'm getting back to it. So I've done some metal etching, acid etching, this year. I've been working with brass and copper and steel. These plates are aluminum plates, and they are a little different than the other metals that I've been working with. I do have a sample piece here of a brass piece, which is actually part of my armor. You can see etched in there is a bear. Okay. Yes, that is a bear. It's supposed to look like a bear. Give me a break, okay? So, there we go. Bear. Now, I have two plates like this, identical plates, for chess pieces. Now, with that said, the aluminum plate that it's on is much thicker. You can see the brass is quite thin, the aluminum is much thicker, and the plate is much larger. This is the smallest plate, or these are the smallest plates on the segmentia. I'm going to be etching on the pauldrons and the lower rib section of the segmentia. So what I've been doing is this. Pretty pink. Nail polish. I've been drawing on filigree for the areas that I do not want the acid to be affecting on the plates. There's a certain term for it, and if you know anything about etching, you're going to write it down and go, hey man, that's what you're talking about. And I'll be like, hey, yeah, you're right, that is. But for whatever reason, that word's escaping me. So you're going to use, or I'm going to use this nail polish for the areas I do not want the acid to eat into the metal. I then will be using a small pick, which I had on the table but is rolled away somewhere, to be scrying into the painted on areas to give it a bit more detail. When that's done, this plate, which is thick in comparison to that brass, will be put into an acid bath. The acid for aluminum etching is an extremely complicated one. Vinegar and salt. I know, like, put those two things together, it's complicated. I'm being sarcastic. To etch aluminum, that's all you're going to need. Vinegar and salt. If you wanted to scry anything in there, as opposed to like taking a Dremel or actually chiseling away in there, or using a lathe of some sort, a mechanical device to make a design in a piece of metal, you can simply just use vinegar and salt and something such as nail polish. That is nail polish. Nail polish. Those three things will etch. Will be used for etching aluminum. So now that I have this section done here, it is ready for an acid bath. The problem is I have like 8 of these to do. I did one test piece last night with the filigree, and you can see the filigree. The details showed up really well, but it didn't etch deep enough, because like from back here, it just looks like a metal plate. Unless you're like leaning on my sleeve, you're not actually going to see the filigree on it. So I need to redo this and finish prepping these other pieces and give them a bath in the acid, which is the vinegar and the salt. And it will probably be like a 12-hour bath, I would imagine, because of the thickness of the plates and how many plates I'm putting together. That last piece that I showed you that barely etched was in the bath for 2 hours. Now, it was an old acid from a couple months ago. Although it was sealed up, I had used it on steel, so I'm thinking that might actually have an effect in it too. So I have to make a new acid and redo it. So my next video, hopefully I get to show you the completed one, and hopefully it's gorgeous, but we'll see. Until then, if you're a member of the SCA, say so in the comments below. Let me know, give me a shout out from what kingdom you guys are in. If you guys have never heard of the SCA, please check out the SCA. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there, and we have websites, and there's local groups all over the world. If you have any interest in history or medieval warfare, it's a fantastic thing to check out. Until next time, it's Joe from Thunder Bay.